Hi, I'm Eddie Burke. I've been the bartender at the Hollywood Improv for 40 years, and this is my podcast, Eddie's Bar at the Improv. Hey guys, thanks for being here again. This is Eddie at Eddie's Bar at the Improv, and today I have a very special guest as far as I'm concerned, someone who worked here during our heyday of the 80s as a server who has now gone on to accomplish unbelievable things as a comedian and writer.
And I was one of the lucky waitresses to marry a comic. To give hope to all other female comics. It's okay, you can land one.
Well, who is that comic?
Well, you have to say me first.
I didn't mention your name?
We haven't yet. I cut in the middle.
Yeah, this is Eileen Conn, who was, as I said, a server here. Began as a server in the early 80s. Was here for 3-4 years. Accomplished amazing things as a server that we won't even go into, but we'll get to. And then accomplished a lot more. Ended up marrying a very popular comedian.
Very funny man, Larry Miller.
There you go. Larry Miller, who came up with that whole slew of guys.
Yeah.
That, Leno and
Reiser and Seinfeld and all those guys. And Wallace.
George Wallace, yeah. All these guys. It was a time that we'll never see again in terms of the type of comedians that they were. These guys all became successful because they all deserved being successful. And just even, let's kind of like start with your days here as a server.
Yeah.
You kind of remember any of those things?
I do. I remember. I remember how I got the job. I remember. I used to
share.
Well, I was working at a place called Trashy Lingerie on La Cienega.
I knew I liked you right away.
So I'm working at the door because you have to buy a membership to enter because they don't want looky-loos in Trashy Lingerie. It used to be $1, so you'd sit there and whatever guy came in and go, I want to look around, it'd be like, it costs $1, and then they go, yeah, I don't want to look around, and it's like, because you're a pervert, get out of here. So in walked D. Marcus. Do you remember D?
Sure, off the wall.
Off the wall, improv extraordinaire, and she had a class right next door to Trashy Lingerie at the Coronet Theater.
Right.
So I was an aspiring actress at the time, and of course I was like, oh my God, I'd love to take the class.
I'm going to cut you for a second because you did, as an actress, something that I never forget.
What?
It was a commercial. It was the Disneyland commercial. It was, and the reason I don't forget it is because with your flowing red, blonde hair, whatever, you had such a great smile on your face, and you were so good in this commercial.
It was a great commercial. It was a lot of fun. Eddie's referring to, I did a local, it was a regional commercial. So, and I led a parade down Main Street, and it was a lot of fun to shoot. But the best part was it would air all the time here in LA, and it was regional, so it wasn't a lot of money. So I'm still waiting tables, and I'd walk up to a table and go, hi, can I get your order? And they'd be like, aren't you that girl on that Disneyland commercial? And I'm like, yeah, I am. What do you want to drink?
I'm just doing this for the heck of it.
Yeah, it's like, it's still not paying the bills. Nah. So that was a good commercial. It was
because you were just great on the commercial.
Yeah,
and you
it was a lot of fun to do.
You looked so energized. And I tell you, every time I think of you, I just remember that commercial.
Oh, that's awfully sweit. Thank you.
So go ahead. I'm sorry for interrupting you.
I met D. Marcus, and then through D. Marcus, I met Tom Tully.
Mm-hmm.
And I already knew Tom Tully. He was part of Off the Wall, and they were just magnificent. And then Tom said, you should work here. And I was like, how? How can I work here? So he got me an interview, and then I got the job.
How'd you feel about that, actually working? I mean, did the Improv hold some special significance for you at that point?
I knew I would make good money.
Well, that is
and I was looking to find a waitress job at night that was going to be fun. And oh my God, you walk in here and, I'm 21 years old. I had just recently moved here. It was my social life. I called it my college years because I didn't go to college.
You did.
Here was my college years, and it was exciting. It was a lot of fun.
So when you started, I mean, again, was it special or it didn't mean much?
No, it was. There was a special vibe to this place when you walked in.
At that time, there sure
was. It was a vibe of fun. Mm-hmm. Come in and you're just going to have fun. You can go into the showroom and you're going to have some laughs. you stay out here, you're going to get drunk and eat some good pizza and have a lot of laughs. It was a place to come and just have fun, where there was a time where I was here 7 nights a week, and I'm only working 4 of them. But the other 3 nights you came in because it was like whatever you were done doing.
Right.
You go, okay, I'm all done. Now I'm going to go to the Improv and hang out with my friends.
Yep, that's exactly how it was.
That's what it was. It's how I met my husband and started dating him. But it was, I remember my first night here, and one of the first comics to introduce himself to me was Jim Vallely.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and he goes, I'm Jim Vallely, and he goes, of the Funny Boys. He goes, this is my partner, Jonathan Schmock.
That's a very good
and that was really nice.
I like
it was like, I remember that moment. It was right where the old kitchen window was, and it was sweet. It was like, oh, hi. But
when did you start doing stand-up?
About a year in, it was on an open mic night, and Howard Allen, the fabulous, wonderful Howard Allen, was running it. And I said to Tony Edwards, who was also a comic at the time, was living with Gwen at the time. Gwen, who was a waitress here as well. And I said, oh my God, I'm dying to try stand-up, but I don't have any jokes. And Tony Edwards wrote 3 quick jokes for me. So I was like, okay, there's 3 jokes. And Howard said, I'll give you 2 minutes. You can go up, because I was waiting tables in there. So I went up and I told my 3 jokes. And one, nothing. Another one had a little, and then the third actually got a laugh.
Wow. All right. You were on your way.
And I was like, that was it. I was hooked. I was just done. I was like, I have to go on again.
It's amazing. I think I've talked about this before, but my one endeavor up on the stage there and it wasn't purposeful. I had a couple of people. It was a Sunday. It was a singing group. The host didn't show up. The manager comes out and goes like, Eddie, can you come up? Can you bring them up? I said, no. I said, I'm an actor, but I'm not about to go up there in front of these people. And she goes, okay. Well, I said, he'll be here shortly. Anyway, I've told this story before, so I'm cut a lot of it. But the long story short is, after 3 or 4 times, she talked me into doing it. And I go up on stage there, and I start telling a joke instead of just bringing them up.
Yeah.
And the joke I was telling was one of the most ridiculous jokes. And I remembered, it was about Farrah Fawcett and Lee Majors. It was something stupid like the plumber's fixing the sink, and Farrah Fawcett is standing there, and Lee Majors walks in and goes like, make sure you screw the right faucet, and it's like, well, halfway through that joke, I could see people are looking at me like, what's he doing? And right halfway through, I just went, okay, guys, let me bring up, and that was my one foray into stand-up, and my last.
Yeah,
and that was it.
I loved it, and I managed to come up with a good joke when I was waiting tables. I would get up there in my waitress outfit, and I'd go, I'm not really a comic, but this is the only way to get a 5-minute break around here. And it was a good opener. It was always fun when Bud would leave, and he'd turn to me and go, okay, while I'm still waiting tables, you can MC the rest of the night. And it'd be like,
you had a partner for a while?
A writing partner, yes.
Oh, writing. You guys didn't perform together?
No.
No, okay. No. The things that used to go on here, especially after Bud left, with mainly the employees, and things like dancing on the bar.
I wouldn't know anything about any of that.
No, but the people you knew, like Loretta and Gwen and whatever.
Again, this was a great place to work, because you had a lot of fun, and when when the cat's away, the mice will play.
And that's what happened.
We played really hard. I remember there was the cocaine days.
Oh, yeah.
And in between the waitresses, and I'm not spelling names or talking out of turn, I don't think. But we might all pitch in and get some cocaine, so that in between the second and third show on a Saturday night, you had a little boost.
So you could move on, right? It's like, hey, let's finish the night with a bang.
Well, let's have some. It's our Saturday night too.
That's right. Yeah. Hey, we're just making money also.
And the shot the house shot,
Yeah,
which
which,
was the mini Russians.
Mini Russian,
and you know
cool, yep.
you can't find that anywhere else. That was
No,
that was
was
only
just here.
And boy, those were good shots.
I
And
know.
a mini Russian is basically a black Russian in a shot glass.
In a shot glass.
It's just vodka and Kahlua.
And that's
But
it. And down it goes.
Down it goes, and boy, you have a couple of those, you can get through any shift.
Sure. When Mark was in his heyday at the end of the night, give all the employees a
Yeah.
couple of mini Russians.
Yeah.
Led by, of course, Howard Allen back then with his little mini Russian things.
Yeah.
Eddie, give me a little mini Russian. And it's like, it's very, I don't think I've been asked. Oh, yes. Howard was up here about a year and a half ago. And
I
of
love
course,
Howard.
he asks for it's for old time's sake, make me a mini. Howard, can you go sit over there? It's like, and it's really no problem. When did you start writing in terms of serious enough to where you were going to submit yourself as a writer? What was your first writing job?
My partner and I sold a script to Get a Life. That was our first official job. We had written a Get a Life spec, and which spec means just a little sample script of, hey, see, we know how to write. So we picked that show, and we came up with our own story for it and wrote it, and our agent submitted it to Get a Life, which apparently you're not supposed to do, or you don't submit your script that's for that show to that show. Whatever, I don't know. So, but they liked it, and they brought us in, and we got to pitch.
Oh,
so
great.
out of that, we got a script. And then shortly after that, we got staffed on a show called Dream On HBO.
Great.
And from there on, it was just that.
Was that with or through Chris Albrecht? Was he involved in that?
No, he was.
No?
He might have been HBO at the time. I don't really know.
I don't know if he was at the time.
No, I don't
either.
think he was. But it was pre him. I'm not sure. We were the first HBO.
Yeah, that
right
must
around the same
early
time
on.
and then right after what came
Sopranos and stuff.
and Larry Sanders' show.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, you have a lot of writing credits.
Yeah.
You've done, my God, I mean, in the past, I mean, I had to write these
did you
things
get?
down. Dream On,
Yeah.
Just Shoot Me, Casey, which you brought me in for.
Yes.
Yes, which is a really nice story. I think you told me, or Andy told me this, that when I was on the set, playing a bartender, of course, you guys had told David Spade that you were bringing me in to read, and Spade said, "Don't make him read, just hire him."
Well, yeah.
Which was great.
Yeah.
Which was really nice for me to not have to read for a part that I work on 8 hours a day.
That's that's the thing about this industry that always kills me is like making people who can do a job have to audition for the
Yeah.
job, and that's one of the things to this day. It still irritates the crap out of me.
They always do.
Yeah.
It's like pretend I want an Ed Burke type, but don't bring in Ed Burke.
Yeah, or if you
As a-
bring him in, let's make sure he's really the same Ed
Yeah.
Burke type.
it's nuts. But you actually, let's see, Mad About You.
Mad
which
About You was a lot of fun working with Paul Reiser.
You were nominated for 2 Emmys. I
Two
believe.
Emmys.
Yeah.
We won a Golden Globe.
Great.
So, in my opinion, Golden Globes do matter.
That was you and Andy Gordon.
Yeah.
At that time. Are you guys still working together?
No. We split up a while ago. All fine and dandy.
Uh-huh.
Nothing. Horrible. It was just time. And that's okay. But
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
I actually saw Andy here about, I don't know, I want to say 2-3 years ago. He might have popped in. And again, it's somebody I hadn't seen in
Yeah.
20 years.
Yeah.
People disappear. They get married. They move on to other jobs. It becomes,
Yeah.
this is like now, we're passing by the Improv. That's still there. Let's stop. Let's see if Eddie's still there. Eddie's still here, guys. Here I am. This is where I am. But again, you've done a number of shows for Disney, haven't you?
I've done a couple. Yeah, the last few years of my career, I've been over at the Disney Channel, and I got lucky enough to work with some really awesome people. I mean, working with the first show I did was called Shake It Up with Bella Thorne and Zendaya, and it was pretty much Zendaya's first job, regular series job type thing, and so that was really lovely. And then she had a second show at Disney Channel that I was lucky enough to work on with her. So yeah, so for 6 years I got to do that. And that was exciting. I enjoyed it.
No, that's great because it's especially working with kids or younger.
I enjoy bringing the comedy to the children because the next generation is going to love sitcoms. Damn
Hopefully.
it. If I have anything to say about it, they're going to love that laugh track.
then they will. I mean, getting back to Mad About You, I mean, people like you and Andy and Paul Reiser.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't want to say Paul started here, but Paul was always here early on in the early days. Everybody that was anybody was here.
Well, on a Saturday night, you'd look up there and you'd see it was Leno and it was Seinfeld, it was Reiser, it was George Wallace.
Yep.
You know, Larry Miller, all these great, Carol Leifer.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You know, Carrie Snow. All the wonderful women comics as well that we were discussing earlier because, you know, you can only have one per show.
You know, people ask me constantly, like, who's your favorite comics? And my answer is always, I really don't have favorite comics. I like a lot of comics. Yeah. It's hard to go because everybody's different. It's like, you know, it's not like it's a competition. But one person that always stands out in my mind is Carol Siskind.
Yes.
Do you remember Carol?
I loved Carol Siskind.
She had a character, and I don't mention her name to them because I know, unfortunately, people just don't know who she is, and I think she's works Vegas a lot now.
She's phenomenal. She's phenomenal. Yeah, funny woman.
There were probably a lot more female comics at that time than people realize.
There were.
Just that in your own words, they didn't get their recognition.
They didn't. They did not get the recognition, and you know, clubs did not want to put more than one woman. If you had a show of 5 comics, only one woman, there was going to be maybe at most one on the show.
I still can't understand that because I mean, it's the truth.
Yeah.
But I don't understand it because you had people like Carol Leifer, like Elaine Boozler.
Oh, Elaine Boozler.
If you put these people up, they're going to sell out. People come to them, and it's sort of like, I guess the club owners.
Well, that's why a lot of the women went over to the other side, you know, to the Comedy Store.
Because they would put them up.
Well, at least, you know, Mitzi, God rest her soul, said, "I'll give the ladies a room."
Well, you know, whatever works. If that's where you get your work.
Yeah, Joanne Astro and Joanne Deering.
That's right.
Joanne Deering, I loved her set because she would sing and it was fun. And then Pam, who just recently passed.
Oh, Pam Madison.
Yes, my goodness.
I know. Her impressions and unbelievable.
Phenomenal.
It's a shame because I don't think it's changed very much as far as female comics go. As we were talking before, you know, at the most you'll get 2 on in a show. Yeah. And if you're lucky. Yeah. To even get that. And yet there are so many still, even today, with you've got Sarah, you know, and Sarah Silverman, and most of them that I can think of are really gotten kind of big now. Chelsea Handler and Ellen DeGeneres. Yeah. These are women that all performed here like crazy and are hilarious and have gone on to
Party Animal
fame.
Still sticks with me. Ellen DeGeneres' bit of it was like, you know, there's a deer head on the wall and it's got a party hat. She goes, "That's a party animal."
Well, Chelsea. I mean, Chelsea Handler, our relationship was just like, "Yo, bitch, what do you want?" She goes, "Are you still here, asshole?" Yeah, I go like, "Just tell me what you want." And it was always, I don't know, Belvedere or Grey Goose, some vodka, something, whatever. But I remember her book signing. She had for, was it, God, I can't remember her book. But it was kind of the beginning of her taking off. Yeah, good. And there are a lot of successful female comics, but not enough.
Not enough.
Yeah, not enough recognition. Do you have any particular memories of your time here, like things that stand out, other than the time you would dance on the bar with...
well, I remember my husband accepting our first date right over there, almost right where you are, because there was a night where Larry was sitting at the round table. There was this round table on the main floor, and then there was a staircase right next to it. I was going up the staircase and I accidentally tripped. And Larry was at the round table with some of his friends. And I looked down and I went, jokingly, flirty, because that's what a waitress does, is flirt. Just go, I fell because of you. Flirty on my way up. And I go about my business. History. A week later, Andy and I are in the bar. My partner and I we're in the bar just having some cocktails for some reason. Well, because we were hanging out here.
And drinking.
And Larry comes up to me and he looks me in the eye and he goes, one of these days you'll fall and I'll be there to catch you. And I gasped. And then he goes, would you like to go out and have a drink with me one night? And I went, yeah. And that was it.
And then the rest was history.
There was still there was a few more steps before history, but because like most men, we had to break up for a while because he was an idiot about not realizing we're going to get married.
Come on. I don't know what happened, but I'm on Larry's side. Yeah. Sorry.
We had the talk one night where I said, it's not, and this is after we've been dating for about a year and a half, and I said, it's not like I'm bringing up the M word. But I look at it this way, that we're in a ship and there's a couple of islands ahead of us. One is marriage and one is not marriage. I go, we do not have to dock yet, but where do you think we're going to turn the boat to? And he looked back and he goes, I see it as we're in a dinghy with a lot of supplies and we don't have to make that decision yet. And I just went, well, then that's that.
It's like we don't have to dock. We're just going to keep floating.
And then 9 months later, he decided to come back and dock.
Of course, yeah. Well, we won't get into that part. It's because Larry's a great guy.
Oh, he's a good guy.
I remember I was at your
Good
wedding.
husband, yeah.
Your wedding was like,
fun.
It was an all-star comedy show.
It was the Improv. I don't think there was anybody here that night.
There couldn't have been because you had George Wallace, Jay Leno, what's his name, Bill Maher, Jerry Seinfeld. Mm-hmm. You name that whole crew. They all did 5 minutes.
Yeah, we had it. No, it was a wonderful show. I should have sold tickets.
They all. Yeah, you could have. You could have paid for the wedding.
And Brogan emceed it.
That's right. which is probably par for the course.
Yeah, it was. And then all the waitresses were there.
Right.
All the loves of my life that I'm still friends with, and
Loretta and
really remarkable people. By the way, that's one thing. It was such a good group of people when we were working here because there was Cindy Heidel, Mary Jean, God rest her soul, who was my best woman, my maid of honor at my wedding. Everybody was just Julie.
Right, and like you said, Loretta and I and Howard
and
Allen
Barbara
and Barbara were
and Howard. Oh my God, yeah,
we had an
really
improv table,
good, solid. Yes, there was the improv table, a good table. I thought it was like, well, that's the table you want to sit at if you're going to my wedding.
Well, that's the one. Even Bud, in his own inimitable way, wandered over to the improv table when he would normally go. Oh, I see enough of those people.
Out of the halls.
Yeah, get out of the hall and all that.
He left. I do remember looking over and going, hey, Bud's leaving early with the camera. Because back in those days, that was a big thing to do at receptions was you got those Instamatic cameras. You put them on the table.
Yeah,
so you'd
you
say,
had all of
help
those
me
on
be
the
a
tables.
photographer, shoot pictures for me.
Yeah.
And then leave the camera.
That's probably a lot of people didn't.
Yeah.
But
they didn't. Well, Bud didn't. He took the camera. But that's
I'm not
okay.
surprised. I can imagine the amount of pictures that
we had a lot of pictures.
Yeah.
And you know what? It doesn't work because most people don't know how to take a good picture.
But I guess that's the charm of it all. It's kind of like if it was professional, then you'd hire a professional like Mike
Which
Ferrano.
We did, yeah. But they still.
Yeah, that would be a whole different ballgame. It's kind of like
I should go back and look at those.
Yeah, you should. You should just take it. You could actually make yourself what do you call a collage and put it online so we can all see, or on Facebook.
That's a good idea.
Some sort of like, hey guys, there's a lot of women in this. Remember that.
I remember a good time here. Monday nights they turned it into dancing nights in the front of the house, and that was a good night.
It was Sunday and Monday. That's right.
And
that was
because open mic was Sunday night.
And then right after the show, open mic, and then Monday, whatever the show was, The tables got pushed back.
It was good
dance
dancing.
night. Everybody and his mother started coming here.
Yeah.
There were lines around the block.
Yeah.
The neighbors were complaining.
Archie Hahn and Deb, and whose last name I'm going to butcher, I always do, Deb Duperrier.
Yes, okay.
They were two of the best dancers every week.
Well, it became so popular. At the beginning, they didn't charge admission or anything. They just let people come in. And the reason they charged admission was they needed to cut out the people that didn't come in and buy anything.
Right, exactly.
So they made the admission ticket like, I don't know, let's say it was $10, but that included a drink.
Yeah.
The regulars, of course, they let in for free, but
because the regulars drank.
That's right. They drank and then they danced. The others, so many people were just coming in to drink, rather to dance. Were you here when we started karaoke?
No, thank God. No.
Oh,
I say thank God because A, you wouldn't have wanted me drunken on that. Doing that. I'm not a good karaoke person. And B, I don't want to hear bad karaoke.
That was a trip. Do you remember Barry Minifield? Was he here? He was the chef at one point. He was probably
He wasn't
after
the one that we
you.
had to call chef, was he?
I think that was Antonio. That was a big Italian
No.
guy. Oh, no, that was Tony Leah.
Yeah, no, the dude we had to literally, people, when I say we had to refer to him as chef.
Yeah.
This is my chef story. I hate that guy. I will always hate him. And if he's listening, I fucking hate you. Because you fucking messed with my money, you bitch. I, at the time, only worked in the dining room. Okay, so if you were a waitress here, you pretty much worked dining room or showroom. 2 different skill sets. With the dining room, obviously, you're serving people, you're schmoozing them, you're talking, here's your wine, whatever. You know, it's a regular waitress job. Inside the showroom, it is throw them the drinks, get them there. It's bam, it's those 2 drinks. You got to get it in and out as quickly as possible. So I never really worked the showroom. So one time, chef, who was trying to elevate the food here for some strange reason to something that it wasn't.
Right.
You know, so on his thing, he had like some salad. I forget what it was, but it was like one of his specials was some salad. And this couple goes, yeah, I'll have the salad. Can I have that with blue cheese instead? And I'm like, of course. Of course you can have it with blue cheese. Why not? I go back in. I put in the order. Next thing I know, chef is screaming at me, how dare I ruin the salad? It is supposed to be with that dressing, not with that. You go tell them they can't have it. And I said, you want me to go tell the customer he can't have blue cheese dressing? And he goes, yes. And I went, I'm not doing that. That's bullshit. Give me fucking blue cheese dressing. That's what the customer wants. And so it was a big to-do. I got hauled in a couple of days later because I finally did have to go out and tell the customers, I'm very sorry, you can't have blue cheese dressing. It was the most humiliating moment of waiting tables ever.
Umami burger or something like that?
And I had to go back out and say, you can't have blue cheese dressing. The chef won't allow it.
Unreal.
And so couple days later, chef has me hauled in front of Mark Lanow, and I think it was Leroy at the time. Leroy?
Yes, Leroy.
Was the manager. And they were sitting at the round table, and chef proceeds to say how I wasn't following instructions and I was ruining his menu. And I'm like, it's the customer. What do you want? I got banned from the dining room for 2 weeks.
Are you kidding me?
I am not kidding you. I am not kidding you. I got banned from the showroom for 2 weeks. And I said, you mean I don't get to work for 2 fucking weeks? That's a long time. And they go, you can work in the showroom. And I burst into tears going, I don't work in the showroom. So my first shift in the showroom was a Friday night. And I got that one, when you first walked in, it was to the right. It was basically about 40 chairs. And you had no idea. You were either going to have 40 people at once or you were going to have 5. That's it. You had no idea. It was like almost the overflow, the shit section, whatever. And I was mortified, but I managed to get through it. And that after that, I was like, why am I out in the dining room anymore with some asshole chef? I'm going to stay in here.
I wish I could remember who that chef was. That would be very interesting.
He was the first one that really, he had such a big ego and really thought that he could elevate the food different. And
we have had so many different chefs over the years. And everybody that's tried to elevate the food has alienated the people.
Exactly.
The people
you don't come here for high-end food. You
Right.
come here for a really good pizza. I'd say put a damn good mac and cheese on any menu. Give me a good burger, a good sandwich. That's what people want.
Especially in a nightclub where it's dark, you're really here theoretically for the comedy, or to hang.
Yeah.
You're not, if you wanted to get a gourmet meal, you'd go to a gourmet restaurant. Just give me some finger food or, or that.
Yeah.
And everybody that's ever come in that's tried that has failed.
Yeah.
Probably one of the most successful ones was the guy that brought in the pizza, Antonio, I think was the big Italian guy. He had pizzas that were like all kinds of peanut butter pizza.
Oh, that was a huge hit here. A peanut butter and jelly pizza.
Yeah. Oh, everything that you can imagine. But again, they alienate.
A BLT pizza. That was really good. It was my first ever experience of seeing lettuce on a pizza, and I thought, what a phenomenal idea. Because they cooked the pizza, and there was bacon and tomato on it. And then when it came out, they put this beautiful crisp lettuce on it. It was delicious.
Hopefully, we're making a lot of people hungry.
Yeah, the BLT pizza, man.
Because now I'm making me hungry.
Yeah.
Well, we've gone through so many of these people over the years, and it's like, again, everybody just tries to elevate the menu, and it never works because that's people come in and go like, where's the chicken tenders?
But Leroy, well, I have to just tell this story. So one night, it was a Sunday night. I think it was a Sunday night. Yeah, it had to have been a Sunday night or a Monday night. It was a slow night. And I was in here, and I remember I didn't have anything to drink, which is a rarity for being in here.
Really?
And I remember Mike. Oh, blonde Mike.
Blonde Mike.
Blonde Mike.
What did he do?
I'm forgetting his last name. He was just regular customer here.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So he says, he goes, he couldn't, he was like, are you sober now? And I was, no, it's just tonight I don't want to have a cocktail. I know it's odd. So I leave and my registration had expired and it's about 12:30 in the morning now. And I leave and I get pulled over by the police on Melrose. And thankfully I didn't have anything to drink. So they said, well, your registration's expired. We have to take you in. And I'm like, what?
For your registration?
Yeah, because it was expired. And I had, a moving violation. Okay, 2 of them. I had 2 moving violations out for my arrest.
Keep going, Eileen. Let's see what else.
Fine. I had 2 moving violations out for my arrest, and my registration was expired.
And a warrant
so they were
for
really
robbery,
nice.
but
Right.
go ahead.
So they were really nice, and they let me pull my car over and park it somewhere where it wouldn't get towed. And then they arrested me. And they take me to the Hollywood joint. And they go, so listen, we don't have any facility here to hold women. So if you don't make bail in like the next 10 minutes, we're going to have to take you to Sybil Brand. Now, Sybil Brand was a maximum, it was like a full-fledged female prison. Now, what I didn't tell the nice officers was I had some pot in my right pocket. And I was like, holy fuck, what am I going to do? So I call one guy I was dating just to go, I need $350. Do you have $350 in cash? He was like, no. And I'm like, fuck. I called the Improv. And I get Leroy and I just go, I'm sorry, I need $350. I've been arrested, and they're going to send me to Sybil Brand. Can you please help me? And sure enough, he walked into the Hollywood station with $350 in cash because it had to be in cash. And he brought it in, he plops it down, and he goes, do I have to wait while you process her? And they go, no. And he goes, all right, see you tomorrow at work. And I left. I came in the next night, and Loretta started to sing Jailhouse Rock. And
well, the truth is coming out about you. I like this. This is what we're all about.
Proceeded to pay it off through my check. So thank you to the Improv for bailing me out.
That's one
and
thing.
And I didn't have to go to Sybil Brand.
Oh, God, yeah. I can't imagine just poor old you at Sybil Brand. You're, right now, you're still doing a lot of writing and all. Do you have projects in the fire?
I have a couple of projects that I'm hoping to take out and pitch. So I'm in development land.
Did I read that you and Larry and can't think of the other guy.
Dennis Dugan.
Yes, Dennis Dugan. Just sold
it's about an inch away from officially being sold.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, and I wait to talk about it because I don't want to jinx it. But
so, but it's out there. I want you to know.
It's out there. No. It is out there. It's like this.
I
don't know anything about the film world and selling a screenplay. So apparently, there's a few things they like to do before it's officially sold.
Yeah, like wait.
Is like say, hey, no, we do have like the money people. We're just waiting. I think.
Okay. But
it's getting really closer. it's getting closer and closer to being actually sold.
What do you want to, do you have an ultimate goal in terms of your writing, your producing? Like, do you want to produce movies? Do you want to
I want to run a show again is what I want to do. I want to be in a room again with writers, and because I love that, and that's my favorite thing in the world.
Yeah.
And I just want to be in charge. I want to be the boss.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Well, someday I'll ask Larry about that. But it's that kind of thing. I've always wondered with comedians that become writers, and at some point, did you say to yourself, it's not happening as a comedian, or I really don't want this, or this is where I'm headed?
First off, I'm so insecure, it's not even funny. I am literally constantly a bundle of just insecurity, and I think every performer, writer pretty much has that. We're just horrible, insecure people. When I was dating Larry and still trying to do stand-up, I'm also a bit of a lazy writer. So I had you could say I had about a 20, 30 minute set. I had 5 awesome minutes out of that 20, 30 set. But you know what that's like. Yeah. I had I had an opening joke, a great closing joke, a great middle joke, and then I had some good stuff in between every now and then. So, but when I started dating Larry was when I saw what a real comic does and what he did, which the amount of time he put into writing every single day. And I would just go, I'm not going to do that. That's not me at this point in my life. That's when I stopped just doing stand-up. I was like, I'm not a stand-up.
I'll write for somebody else.
I'll just continue writing. Yeah, for some reason, I didn't know what my voice was. I think if I wanted to try stand-up again, which I have thought of, because I now feel like I actually have a voice and I have an opinion.
Yes.
Like a POV,
I follow you
as they
on
say.
Facebook.
What's your POV? And as a young 20-something girl, I was like, I don't know what my POV is.
But now you do.
But now I kind of do, yeah.
Yeah, they should just follow you on Facebook.
Well,
there it is. It's out there.
Yeah, no, I'm just cranky.
Besides this, do you and Larry ever want to work together? Do you ever want to work as an actress again?
If somebody ever gave me a job as an actress, yeah. Do I want to go and get the 8x10s and get back into that?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Well, it's not that way anymore.
Yeah, I don't know what
online.
it is. It's all online now and everything.
Yeah, you put your pictures online, they submit them, and that's it. You don't have to. You don't even bring them to auditions anymore.
Wow.
They've got it all digitalized or what have you. You go like, you want my picture? No, we got it.
Yeah.
It's on the camera and we'll take you, and it's a different world.
Yeah.
So, but it's because you were so talented even as an actress.
Thank you.
I just wondered kind of like, because I've never gotten out of it. I work here and there and whatever. And when you work, you go like, God, this is what I really want. This is what it's all about. And unfortunately, there's all those in-between times where you're not working. Yeah. But the feeling when you actually work is unbelievable.
It is.
You go like, wow, this is the energy. I think I remember, I forget what show, I did a sitcom in front of an audience once, and I can't remember which it was, but it was like so energizing. It was like doing a play, and you have the audience reaction and the audience response, something that you don't get anywhere other than sitcoms.
Yeah.
And your feeling is, this is why I do this. I love this. I love this, people appreciating or giving you validation. So I couldn't write, but I can't imagine segueing into writing or something for myself to something like that. When somebody like you does that, I think it's a tremendous accomplishment.
Because
you were becoming successful as an actress and then switched over and became even more successful.
It's
as
like
a writer.
that one overtook the other. I mean, if there's one part of acting I miss is theater.
Yeah.
Because theater is, to me, I was always just a theater brat. And film or cameras or, that's all neat. But there's nothing better than that high you get from audience. Doing
people don't
a stage play.
I think the average person that watches a film or a TV show doesn't understand I don't want to say tediousness, but the amount of work and the amount of tediousness that goes with doing that and doing the same shot over and over again.
Yeah.
Whereas in a play or what have you, it's right there.
Yeah,
You
it's
flub
2
a
hours.
line. Yeah, you flub a
keep
line.
going.
You keep going. You make something up and you go. It's one of those things. I've heard of people, even musically, where if they flub something, and let's say they have to repeat that again in the play, they'll flub it purposely so that the audience thinks that
that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
So
got to really think. It's a lot of fun. There's nothing more fun, I think. That's my best, but that's the best part of performing, I think, is getting, and it doesn't matter drama or comedy. It doesn't matter. It's a great experience.
It's a reason why I give comics so much credit too, because getting up in front of an audience, you are naked.
Yeah, completely.
Your response is right there. You know if it worked or if it didn't work. There's no waiting for reviews in the morning.
Yeah.
There's no like getting off stage and seeing if people appreciated you.
This was always fun because, right around pilot season, you would get that influx of those new comics coming in. Those guys that were headlining in Ohio,
Yep.
Because this was during the big boom of comedy where like even your dry cleaner had a fucking comedy night. So these guys would waltz in here, and they'd saunter on up to the bar. Yeah, I'm so-and-so. I'm going to be showcasing. Yeah, I got a set tonight. And we're like, yeah, you and about another million fucking guys. And it was, to me, because a lot of them had massive fucking attitude walking in here. And you're going to give attitude to me who's been around? Please. And they would go on stage and bomb because they weren't used to LA audiences, which are far more... We're used to seeing Robin Williams. What else you got, kid? I mean, come on.
It still goes
We're
on
jaded.
that way.
It's like this was a hard audience in a hard room, and these guys are coming in and trying to tell 10 minutes of dick jokes.
Oh,
and it's you're a piece of shit. Get out of here. Go back to where you came from. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be rude, but you have nothing. You're not bringing anything new to the table.
I still get this with comics during, as you said, pilot season.
Pilots, yeah.
And first off, I go, there is no pilot season anymore.
No.
It goes on all year long.
Yeah.
And second off, how many pilots have you been out on? Really haven't been out yet. How long you been here? A month and a half. Okay. Well, good luck.
Yeah.
I mean, this is why you came into town. Do you have an agent? Well, no, but I heard it was, like, guys, there's a process, unfortunately, involved, and you got to be there. And everybody and his mother now is a comedian. And everybody thinks they're so great.
Well, you remember during the boom. And the thing was when the boom happened, in my opinion, this is just my observation, was once the Lenos and the Larrys and the Risers and the Seinfelds stopped coming in on Saturdays because they were busy elsewhere doing other things in their careers. We didn't have that next level to come in at that point and replace them because of the boom, they had all these places to go and learn this hacky material that they weren't really getting true points of view. And these are all guys that started in New York.
Right.
And had to claw their way. Not some guy who's suddenly, got 5 places in deep South where he's like working and these people don't know funny or whatever, but or easy laughs.
Yeah.
We just weren't easy laughs for people.
There is, and now unfortunately it is. You've got all these new platforms and outlets, and everybody's goes on and tells a joke on YouTube or to their mother in their living room. Oh my God, you should be a comedian.
Yeah.
And I've had people I've had a bar full of comics or people starting out. And I've had, this always sticks in my mind. This one guy used to come in, he was a writer. And he would always tell me how, this person wouldn't read his script or whatever. And one day he says to me, I'm going to do stand-up. I want to try stand-up. I said, great. We have open mic on Tuesday. Come I'll make sure I can help you get on. He goes, well, people don't really watch that, do they? Like, like the people that book and all. I said, sometimes they do, but, you have to go through it.
You got to start.
And he goes, well, I've been doing it at home, and I've been doing it in front of the mirror. I'm funny.
Oh, my God.
I am really funny. Is there any way that you could do something to have them give me a couple of minutes on stage? I said, wait a minute.
Yeah, it's called open mic night.
Yeah, I said, hold on. First off, look down this bar. Every single person here is a comedian. Every single person goes to open mic or what have you. I have never seen you do stand-up. You're asking me to put my reputation on the line for you and just let you go up or help you get up. I said, the answer is no. I said, there's no way in hell. I have not seen you. And well, you don't believe me? I said, honestly, I don't believe anybody till I see it.
Yeah.
It's really that simple.
Yeah.
But this is the attitude that's come with people now because of like YouTube and everything else. One person will click in and say, you are hilarious. Well, 9 million other people aren't doing that. Good luck to everybody that tries it. It's not an easy field.
It's not. And and listen, when stand-up works, there's no better feeling because you are naked on there, on that stage. So if you get a laugh, that's your laugh. It's nobody else's. And it's a great feeling. But boy, when it's silence, that's your silence. And you got to own it. And you got to like swim in it. And you got to get off and go home and cry, do whatever, because everybody has terrible sets. It's whether or not you're going to go back the next day, And I mean, you got to work your way up. You got to put in the time.
One thing I will, and I'm going to throw this out there for every open micer in the world. Do not use this one line. Every time when I used to work next door and they would have the open mics in there, the comics would go up one at a time, and God bless them, everybody's trying hard.
Yeah.
They're doing whatever. And I would say 20% of these guys would go up, and at some point when somebody doesn't laugh, one of them would say, come on, guys, that's my best joke. Ugh. And I yelled out a couple of times, well, you may as well get off then, because if that's it, you're done. It's like, why would you say that?
That's the dumbest thing to ever say.
And yet they do.
Yeah, because it's hard. It's hard to bomb. It's embarrassing. Rich Scheidner, to this day, has a bit that is still just drilled into my head, because he would stand on stage, and I'm gonna have to talk through people because it's not a visual show that you're listening to. So he would go, a lot of comics will say, we'll do this motion if nobody laughs at a joke. So he'll wave his hand over his head as if to say, yeah, it's over our head.
Right.
It's over your head. Oh, I see. It's you problem. It's over your
That's
head.
the light.
Yeah. Okay, you guys aren't getting it because it's over your head. And he goes, with me, when it doesn't work, it's more like the audience is looking back at me, and he put his hand right on the middle of his forehead going, oh, no, Rich, we got it. Oh, no, we got it. It's right here. It's not funny, Rich. And it's like, and that's the truth of the matter.
Yeah.
It's not that it's don't ever blame the audience. Oh, the audience sucked tonight. No, the audience didn't suck. You didn't realize what you had to do to get that audience to listen to you.
Well, how many times have you or anybody else performed the exact same set 2 different nights, and one night you kill and one night you die?
Yeah, that happens.
It's
very bizarre. It's very weird, because that's all about, and then a real comic or a real performer, because I do like to consider myself a performer, not necessarily like a comic, but a real will listen to it, and they can hear the audience, and they can figure out what's going on.
Well,
why am I either I'm coasting,
that's the advantage to a guy like Robin Williams, to even like Charlie Fleischer.
Oh,
these are guys that just take everything that's there. If something isn't working, they're going to take your water bottle and they're going to make some sort of joke out of it, and you're going to laugh because it will be funny. But even if they're, I guess, improv type comics, because so much of it is just made as they go, you have that ability to just go like, okay, I'm bombing. I think I'm going to work with a curtain for a while.
Yeah, exactly.
And people love that.
Yeah.
When you don't.
I miss Robin. Anytime Robin went on stage, it was always such an exciting thing.
I know, you didn't know what to expect.
No.
And everything you got was usually something great.
Yeah.
Something never done before.
Yeah, he was amazing.
And Charlie Fleischer is a lot like that. He to
but
me.
Charlie Fleischer is still has he has a set though.
Yes.
You know.
He was a little more intellectual in his own thing with whatever his leads. Not quite the same as Robin, but he to me he also was able to use everything on stage.
He could do some physical stuff. He could do
the voice of Roger Rabbit.
Yeah.
So with all of your experience as a writer, with all of your experience as a comedian and even as an actress, you've also found time for a family.
I did.
You have how many children?
2 boys.
How old?
That's embarrassing now.
10 and 11, right?
Oh, God, I wish. 20 is the youngest. 20.
Wow.
And 24 is the oldest. 23,
Wow.
24.
That worries you if I told you how old my kids
How
are
old
at
are
this
yours?
point? Mine are like 36 and 34.
Wow.
It's like, and I'm only
Are they
43.
married yet? Are they married? Not yet?
No, especially not to each other.
Okay.
It's like
Well, that's a good sign.
It's for me to have kids that old at the age of 50, it's really like, wow, I worked fast.
I know.
And
good
the kids,
for you.
and the kids grow fast. It's just
they do grow up really fast.
Yeah.
I'm thrilled with them. I think they're good boys. I think.
What are they doing?
My youngest is in college. He goes to the University of Colorado at Boulder. And he's a double major in math and art history.
Wow.
He's smart.
Yeah.
The
Math.
other one went into the Marines.
Okay.
Yeah, became a Marine at right out of high school.
Okay.
Which threw me for a loop. And I
I'm
was
glad.
like, well, there goes all that private school payment. Like, why? Why did I do that?
Yeah, I could have just sent you to
Prep
whatever.
school.
Yeah.
I sent you to prep school.
Or public school or whatever. Save the money.
So he
Well, good
became
for
a
him,
Marine.
though.
No. And he really wanted to do it. And he just got out after 5 years.
Okay.
And so he's thrilled to be out. He's starting school in September. So we're good.
Well,
we're good to go.
I really want to thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you for asking me.
Oh God, it's like you know when I even thought about doing this, you were one of the names that popped into my mind. If I could find my list, I'd show you where I wrote your name down because you were part of the history of the day of the heyday.
Well, this club meant so much to me, and this place. It's still, you walk in and it's like you're just hit with memories. Mm-hmm. Like sitting here, this is Pat Maloney's seat.
That's right. Who works with you occasionally,
I have,
right?
yes.
Yeah.
And I love Pat Maloney. And I'm sitting in Pat Maloney's seat.
That's right. And Pat and Mario.
And Mario.
Ricuzzo, yeah. Just all these guys. This was everybody's favorite seat because you have a view of the place.
The whole place.
Your back is to nothing but about 2 feet, and you can see it all.
Yeah.
But, everybody that was here back then, hopefully, not everybody, but a lot of people. One day, after I do interview Loretta, I would like to get you and Loretta and Gwen. We'll have one big little she-fest.
Oh, I'd love that. That would be fun. We could
great.
really dish.
Well, again, thank you very much for coming. I really
Thank you,
appreciate this, and I really would love to do it again.
Yay!
And we'll do it with the others too.
Yeah. Oh my God, we could have a lot of fun.
Okay. Thank you, guys. We will see you
Bye,
next time.
everybody.